Hey guys, welcome back to On Our Terms, hosted by moi, Ismatou Ba. As usual, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it every time. I know you guys are annoyed. This is not a safe space. It's a brave space. So let's be brave. And in honor of that, guys, it's the last episode of the year. Mommy, this has been a year. Featuring me. You guys just get me for the last episode. Honestly, this year has been so fruitful. I have grown a community. You guys tune in to listen to me yap. I can honestly say overall, the year has been great. I've loved this year. I think I've taken a ton of risk. I have fallen more in love with myself. I shaved my head bald. I'm just, I got badder, cuter, flyer. I got a few more coins in my bank account. I honestly can't be mad. I can't be mad. But there are always lessons I feel like you take with every year. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, New Year's, every time it gets end of the year, the last 2 weeks, I'm always really sad. Cause I'm like, wow, the year has gone by. Because going as a Muslim, when I had off for school, Christmas meant nothing to me. I was like, well, we're not celebrating that. It was always New Year's. I was like, wow, we're starting a new year. And being with my family on New Year's was always just so meaningful. And then when I got older, I didn't value it as much because I would always travel and be somewhere else and far from my family. But now I'm actually, I really want to be with my family on New Year's. And I don't know, New Year's just makes me reflect. I'm not necessarily a person that goes into the new year with all these resolutions and I used to think that's what I needed to do because what I saw online and what my friends would be doing. But as I've gotten older, I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna go to the gym one time on January 1st and I'm gonna stop going. But one thing I've consistently done every year is definitely reflect on my year. How far I've come, what this year has meant for me, what is the theme of this year, what was the vibes. And for this year, I want to say it's growth. I mean, every year is growth, but this year specifically, a ton of growth. Mentally, emotionally, physically, a lot of growth. And honestly, it's kind of disorganized, but I'll just take you guys through my thought process. I moved out in 2023, and I feel like 2023 was the year where I moved out of my family home, which was a big deal. It was as traumatic as you may imagine as a Guinean Fulani girl who is unmarried and not trying to be married anytime soon and doesn't care. Let's just say it wasn't all flowers and fun moving out. It was really, really tough. I feel like a lot of the foundational work that I did in 2023, I kind of was reaping the benefits of that in 2024. Because I couldn't have started this podcast without moving out. There was just no way. I had no space for it in my house. As the oldest daughter, you guys already know, I was living with my family. You kind of after college, you kind of just dive back into family politics. I didn't have any space to actually focus on what I really wanted to do with my life. I feel like my goals for myself were muddied by everybody else's expectations for me, and I wasn't able to see clearly. I was definitely coming out of the whole grad school thing, and I was still not really sure what it is that I wanted to do. Obviously, I wanted to pursue something creative, but being that I feel like the creativity in me was kind of crushed at a really young age, it was really hard for me to kind of just be oh yeah, this is something I want to do a podcast. And so once I was able to leave, clear my head, had time to myself, was able to pour into myself, pour into my interests, I was oh wow, this is just the natural thing for me to do. I feel like this year I reaped the benefits of moving out, having my own space, having clarity, building routine for myself, getting medicated, pouring into my relationships. I feel like I'm in such a better place with my siblings, with my friends, with all the relationships in my life, honestly. Except for a few. Not all relationships are good. And that's fine, too. I think this year I've truly, genuinely become comfortable with not having the best family relationships and being okay, I'm not going to be on good terms, and People are going to come around when they come around, and it's going to be fine. And I'm going to be fine because I'm focusing on myself. I know what I'm doing. I have goals for myself. I'm self-driven, all that good stuff. And that being enough for me to move forward. I think also another thing too, because I feel like in our culture, women are praised and raised to be selfless and to constantly put others before themselves. That's the only time they're really praised, and you don't get recognition for anything otherwise. And I feel like for the first time this year, I've kind of owned being selfish. And I wouldn't necessarily say selfish. I would say self-preservative. Like, I've been very good about, all right, this doesn't serve me. I'm gonna pull back. And when you guys need me, I'll be able to plug in where needed. I've been, I think, a lot more self-preservative with my time, my energy, and that's not necessarily praised in our culture. And I think I've learned to be, okay, then I'm not going to get the Daughter of the Year award. And that's fine. Like, I don't need the Daughter of the Year award if that is what's required. If that's what we need from Ismatou, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to lie, that was a hard thing to accept. And I think 2023 was me reckoning with that, but 2024 was me being comfortable. Yeah, that was my big ramble.
I can't lie, y'all. I'm the kind of person who is always playing games with my life. I do not check the weather app before I leave my apartment, and I will be packing the night before a trip. That's just the truth. But finding the right doctor should not be something you play games with. So I had to get serious about my alopecia areata. That's why I went straight to ZocDoc at the first sight of a bald spot, and I found my dermatologist. Guys, I was not playing any games. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and who are highly rated by verified patients. You can also see their actual appointment openings. Choose a time that works for you and click instantly to book a visit. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments, because that's what happened to me, y'all. Literally, I saw the bald spot and I ran to the doctor. I use ZocDoc and you should too. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/honorterms to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/honorterms. One more time, y'all. ZocDoc.com/honorterms. See you there.
I think, honestly, I told you guys I had a list. And so we're going to go through the list. So here are my 2024 reflections. Like I said, it's very disorganized, but a list nonetheless. Number one. $100,000 is not enough money. I know we saw all the influencers and they don't have a 24-year-old that makes $100K. Whatever. It's not. As someone who does make six figures, let me just tell you, it's not enough money. In New York, at least. And I think it has been glamorized, but end of the day, I think I'm realizing a lot of people in this bracket don't necessarily also have the best money skills, the best financial skills. And if they do, it's because they have parents that have money to help them out. A lot of people who are financially stable at this age, let me tell you, they have a dad or a mom that is supporting them. And people are not sharing that tea as freely, which is okay. You don't got to be sharing that as quick as whatever. You don't have to share that with everybody. But I think we see a lot of extravagant lives online. And we're like, oh my God, I need to get my money up. I need to make six figures. Six figures will not save you. And that's myself included. I'm not sitting here and telling y'all that I'm rich as fuck. No. If you come from a low income background and you start making six figures in your 20s, just remember that's all you have. Whereas some people have that and a trust fund and somebody paying their rent and somebody paying for their vacations. They can turn off. They can stop spending money at some point and go somewhere where someone could take care of them and they could eat that person's food. So just keep that in mind when you're comparing yourself to people, because that was a huge theme this year. Like everybody talking about making six figures. Obviously we're in our 20s and like, you know, some people make really good money too, but that's not the end all be all. Secondly, I think for me personally, I do need to be more financially responsible. Obviously, like coming from an immigrant background, like you're not necessarily given the skills to learn how to budget. So you're kind of learning how to do that stuff by yourself. And so I've been super thankful. I have a financial advisor in my life who helps me with managing my investment portfolios, all that good shit. But at the end of the day, there's still a level of like weekly financial management that you have to do that I didn't even I didn't realize. Like you can't just like check your bank like every few weeks, like just swipe and just hope that shit don't decline. And then sometimes I'll check my account and be like, oh wow, there's a lot more money there than I thought it was. Because like I would literally not check my bank account. And that's not good financial health, according to the girls on TikTok. So I need to be better about managing my finances. Thirdly, on an emotional side, like end of things, I do honestly think I've matured a lot in this year. And I think it's just that post 25, the frontal cortex just growing and clicking and all the synapses closing. Like I think I make a lot more responsible decisions. And also shout out to my therapist, because I feel like I would engage with a lot of petty shit before that I don't anymore. And I just know when to keep my mouth shut. And I know when to speak, which is, I think, super helpful. And I also realize like what one of my triggers are. I think one thing I've struggled with my entire life is being petty. Like if someone does something to me, I'm like, all right, period. Watch. I'm going to get you. Like you will rue the day. But I'm realizing that's a trigger. And as my therapist has said, you need to disengage. Once you see toxicity, disengage. There's no reason for you to be a part of that. The longer you are participating in that, the more time you're wasting. It's energy you could have been putting into other shit. And I really took that to heart, because I think it's a lot for your therapist to call you petty. Like it's really hard to hear in therapy. And she told me that I need to grow up. And honestly, period. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I feel like I've done this past year. I'm losing count, honestly. But next thing on my list, I think I'm at capacity with friendships. Like, I don't really have the time to be making a ton of friends. I don't have time to meet people. Like, unless people are coming to my house and we're chilling. And I think I'm that type of friend. Like, I like to cook. I like to entertain. I also like going over to my friends' houses. And if I can't really go to your house, I can't hang out with you on that level. Like, I don't have time for you, because also like, I'm not about to be out here grabbing coffees all the time, like when I can make matcha at home. I don't know. And also like, I do want to go out to eat, but that shit is mad expensive. And I could, but no, like I just feel like it's too much effort and work. And if we're trying and it just doesn't work out, like I guess we'll find each other. Like something's gonna happen. Like if we're meant to be friends, we will be friends. So I'm trying to lean into that a bit more. Moving out was the best thing that happened to me. Like I am so much healthier. I only worry about myself. Like I wake up in the morning and I just make breakfast for myself. I worry about my outfit. If my room's a mess, that's my problem. Like I have figured out how to make things convenient for myself. I know what things I need to invest in to make my life easier. Like I will pay for laundry service. Like I know I have my boundaries. I know who is going to come into my space, who's not going to come into my space. I know what I'm going to allow to stress me, what's not going to stress me. I have the perfect amount of distance from my family, but yet I'm not far away. So, you know, I can be there for anything that they need. But the independence is so great. And so, like, I will never not support people moving out. You should, if you are living at home and you are miserable, you should move out. Don't get veneers. There's so many things that you can do before you get veneers. You don't gotta get veneers. Not everybody gotta get veneers. Some of them look fucking crazy. Some of y'all look like horses on the internet. I'm not young anymore. I actually do think I need to get serious in certain aspects of my life. Like, I'm about to be in that age range where people are gonna be like, oh, she's pushing 30. Yeah. But honestly, still like beginning of life. But I need to get serious. I don't know. Maybe like I need to, like just serious in terms of like relationships, friendships, family. I need to get serious. I don't think I support all Black people. One thing that this year has taught me with elections and everything, like we don't all have the same agenda. And that's fine. But I'm not in I don't support y'all. Like I don't support your agenda, and like that's fine. Like I'm divesting. I'm absolutely divesting. And some of y'all are too far gone. And I'm not saying my thoughts are the best or the right way or whatever. I'm just saying it's different. And y'all gonna have to do y'all. I'm gonna have to do me. So I don't support all Black people. And I think I'm okay with saying that, honestly. I hate to say this, but actually I don't hate to say this. Being in community with Africans is actually really stressful. Like it's really like the toxicity, the dysfunctionalness of it all is honestly enough. Like I don't think being in community with Africans is gonna be a priority for me in this upcoming year. Like it's just, the reason why I'm saying this is because too many times I feel like when I am in community with Africans, whether I'm hanging out with them or I'm not even hanging out with them, sometimes it's even in the unsaid. I feel like I'm constantly having to psychoanalyze conversations, relationships, what's going on. Like it's too much. Like I'm not really enjoying the community aspect of it that everybody loves to talk about. Like Africans are so community centered. Like I'm not getting it. Like maybe I'm the problem. I'm okay with that. But I'm really struggling with being in community with y'all. Cause I hate the psychoanalyzing aspect of it. I hate the shady little comments, the little undertone, the glancing of the eyes. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the bunky of it all. Like I can't really get behind it. Like I feel like everybody feels like they're outsmarting each other. And I can't really participate in this because I shouldn't be second guessing friendships and second guessing who's there for me, who's not there for me, like all that stuff. Like I just feel like I'm not investing in it the way that I used to invest in it and want to be a part of it. And if it happens and I meet cool people, awesome. But to say that I want to be like involved or be like this is something that's a priority for me, no, not at all. Niggas be dying. That's really crazy. I'm not gonna lie. There's so much shit that happened this year. I'm like, wow, like that's really crazy. Like shit could just change like that. And I think it like really snaps you into like how fragile life is. So that's really shocking to me. But yeah, niggas be dying, which is crazy. People are gonna have their stories about me. And that's okay. And I'm not even saying this in a way of like being a mean girl is cool. I don't think being mean is cool, like at all. Like, don't be an asshole. I can't control the narrative. And that's fine. I'm true to myself. I know who I am. I know the people who love me know who I am. And that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Like, I can't go around being worried about what every person thinks of me. And also, like, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, I don't think I'm the best version of myself all the time. I'm just human. And like I said before, if someone tells you, oh, Ismatou is a bitch or Ismatou, like, believe them. I probably was in that moment. And I can't go around worrying about like these different interactions and trying to rectify situations with everybody because, like I said again, like, you're going to get what you get, and some people are going to love you, some people are going to hate you. There's certain situations with certain things, whatever. And like everybody knows everybody, and that's fine. Some people are going to meet you and judge you for themselves, and that's also fine too. And likewise, like vice versa. I can only control what I can control. How I act and what I do is representative of who I am, and that's the only thing I can control, and that's that, and that's fine with me. I also learned this year, you can tell the truth without being mean. And what I mean by that, I feel like a lot of the time when people like, oh, I was just telling the truth. Yeah. But like, you didn't have to do it on her wedding day. Like sometimes timing and place matters. And how you say it and intonation matters. Like, you can tell somebody the truth, but you can also be mindful of their feelings and how they can receive it and how they could also not be in a place to receive that. There are certain times where someone has told me something in that moment, I'm like, come on, like, I did not need to hear that now. Whereas like they told me a week later and I was like, honestly, I can see it from your perspective. You can be honest. Also, like, you see so many times on the internet where people are like, you know, saying their point or clarifying something or whatever it is that's viral at the moment. And they're explaining and they're being so rude about it. And it's like, you can correct someone and not be an asshole. And like, I'm trying to honestly think about that a lot of the time, especially with like trolls and everything. It's like, I can tell you X, Y, and Z and explain my point of view without being rude and nasty about it, because I'm actually not trying to be nasty and rude. That's not the type of person that I am. I say this every year. I reflect on this every year. And it's not new. It's not novel. But niggas ain't shit. Men aren't shit. And they should also always be decentered. They're the center of all problems relating to women. And they're kind of evil. Like, some of the shit that I be hearing men do is kind of evil, honestly. And you just can't trust them. That's how I feel. I feel like some you can trust, for sure. But some you cannot trust. Always sleep with one eye open. 2024 is the year that I am done with light skins. If they seek me out, cool. But I am done. Like, me and light skins, I hope you guys enjoy. Like, live your life, I'll live mine. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in light skins. Best of luck to you guys. And I hope you guys figure it out. Because honestly, y'all disappoint me every single time. Light skins disappoint me every single time. I need to take my GMAT for real. Because actually, I really do want to go back to school. I want to go back to school. I want to learn. I want to think. Like, I want to sit and, like, talk about shit in the courtyard. And, like, spend all night in the library and vibe. Like, I miss that. I miss going to school for free. It doesn't get better than that. Last but not least, family is always going to be there. Like I said at the beginning, having boundaries is so good. It's so, you like are able to protect yourself. So like, I feel like I've really protected myself this year. I protected my time. I think I've kind of understood, like, you know, I think what's important to understand is your parents and your elders have lived their life and they have made their decisions about their life, which is what led them to be where they are. This is my life. And I need to make decisions for myself to have the life that I want for myself. Because I have the ability and the privilege to do that. And I should absolutely do that. I think what's most important to me, especially in my 20s, especially now, I don't have any kids. I don't have a husband. I don't have a mortgage I need to pay. I'm not tied to anything or anybody. Maybe I am tied to somebody, but I don't have responsibilities like that. And it gives me the freedom to pursue and go for anything that I want. I think if I'm like 40 and 50, I can accept blaming myself for any regret that I have about my life, because those are decisions that I made, that I can take accountability for. I think it's so much harder to not have resentment for someone else who's responsible for this regret. Being like, I don't ever want to be 40 and 50 and like blaming like, oh, I would have done this and this, I could have done this and this if it wasn't for this person. Because I feel like it is so hard to actually, to not stay angry at that person and not have like full on resentment towards people that you love in that way if you are living for other people. And I just know that that feeling would eat me alive more than like me upsetting people now. Like upsetting people in my 20s and trying to carve out a path for myself and trying to figure out and make decisions for myself and own my life and own my decisions. That is where I need to be right now. And I don't think I'll ever regret that, because again, and even if I do regret it, guess who's to blame? Guess who's the culprit? And that's okay. Like, I think I can live with that. If I had to blame myself, like, that's fine. But I don't think I can live with myself if I'm living for other people and I'm looking back at this time and I'm being like, well, if I didn't do this and this to make this person happy, blah, 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 all that shit. Nah. And that's my main takeaway for this year, is being really comfortable in that feeling. And that's why I say the overarching theme of this year is growth. I have grown. Like, that's so big from where I was 2 years ago. And I don't regret it. Everything that happened up until now, I feel like I needed to go through the process of getting on anti-anxiety medication. I needed to go through the process of understanding why I'm pursuing this podcast and what the importance of this podcast is. It's been so beautiful building and growing this community and connecting with all of you guys through it all. It's been the greatest blessing of this year, honestly, to be able to build community and have the power to use my voice to speak about things that are really important to me and people that I share community with already. I have loved building something beautiful with my friends. I don't think that's a privilege that a lot of people have, but it's been amazing to see and have a corner of people that not only support me and build me up, but also are so protective, like, of my vision and so protective of my mission and trust me enough to give me the most valuable thing that they have, which is their time. And I think a lot of the time, I could look back at this year and say, oh, I could have made more money. I could have done this. I could have done that. Yeah, sure, whatever. But honestly, I am lucky to be alive, lucky to be healthy, lucky to have family, lucky to be able to provide, lucky to be able to have a roof over my head and live life on my own terms. And I feel like I'm not even just doing it because that's the name of the podcast, but I'm genuinely living in it. Like, I'm genuinely living on my terms for myself. And not everybody agrees with it. Not everybody likes it. Not everybody loves it. Not everybody has agreed with my decisions that brought me, some people think I should be married. Some people think I should have a kid already. Some people think I shouldn't be living outside of my house as a single woman. And clearly I don't give a fuck. Some people don't think I should have a podcast. You can't make everybody happy. But I'm going to be me at the end of the day. And I think the only goal I have going into next year is to keep it going, keep it moving, keep growing. And it's honestly only up from here. Like, I really do think like this was a really pivotal year for me. I can't wait to like continue growing the audience and meeting more of our community members, I guess, and seeing everything that we're able to pull off in this upcoming year. But I'm gonna wrap this shit up. I guess that's life too. So, guys, if you like what you saw and what you heard, make sure you follow and subscribe at On Our Terms Pod. And you can follow me, your host, at UOTomsy. And I will see you next year. Can you imagine that? Next year. Bye, guys.